how's it going, everybody? Excuse me a minute, I'm still setting everything up. So today I released, if you don't know who I am, my name is Dylan, and I'm the developer of a new game called Emoji Pop, which you can play at playemojipop.com. And it's a mobile puzzle game, it's a bubble shooter, so you have to make matches with colored emojis. But it gets really crazy because there's all these crazy emojis that do all this crazy stuff. And the coolest thing about the game is you can design your very own levels. So let me just open it up. So this is Emoji Pop, and you can play it from your computer or your mobile device. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Let me know if you have any questions about the game in the chat or anything like that. I'm streaming to Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, a bunch of other places. I'm trying to look at all the chats. I'm still kind of getting into the streaming thing, so let me know if you have any feedback about anything whatsoever. So today in the game I released a brand new world, the Snail World. So to unlock this world, you have to get to World 8 in the game, which is the Snail World. And the snail is really cool because it's the first obstacle in the game that moves. So every time we shoot, every snail will move one step forward. They go either left or right, and if they bump into something, they'll turn around. And so there's going to be a lot of obstacles that require this kind of movement. So this is like the introduction for the players so that they can see, okay, emojis can move, and then there's some kind of strategies and interesting gameplay situations that emerge from that. So one thing that this movement does in this new world is that it forces players to constantly reevaluate the level. So one problem that a lot of players have playing Emoji Pop and bubble shooters in general is that they get into this mindset. They kind of go in this flow where they stop reevaluating their decisions. They kind of just start making matches without strategizing. But this massive movement on the board each time I make a match. So the snails move and sometimes form giant matches, or some giant matches go away. And so this kind of behavior forces players to get into this mindset of constantly having to read the board to look for the best path forward. And so that's why I've included it so early in the game, because it's good to get players in that mindset. So with this stream, first I want to start off by just playing playing this world and seeing if we can beat the levels. And if anyone has feedback about the game, just let me know in the chat, or any questions. This is I made this entirely using JavaScript. Let me just check the chats real fast to see if we have any initial questions or anything. I think we're good. So I'm streaming in multiple places. I don't know if that's good or bad or not. Yeah, let's go back to the game. So my plan is to release a new emoji obstacle every single Monday. So next week's I'm very excited for. Next week's is the siren emoji. And so the siren emoji, instead of moving each turn, it's in real time changing colors. So not even by turn, it's just constantly changing colors. So you have to kind of time your shots correctly, and it's way more chaotic. But I think it's really cool, and I don't think there's an obstacle like that in my competitors' games. So I'm kind of okay. So see, these snails moved and formed this giant match. So that's what I'm talking about. That's that makes the snails feel really good when you are able to use your strategy in order to hit them and save a bunch of moves or whatever. And that opens up the star. So in these stars are our mini levels. I have a limited number of moves in the game, but by beating these stars, I'll earn more moves so I can keep going. So this is the first level. In the first level of each world, I try to reinforce the core mechanic of the obstacle I'm introducing in a really simple way. So I do it here by having these diagonal matches with a gap in between. And so the colored snails will sometimes connect them and sometimes not. So I'm forcing players to end up in a bunch of situations where they're having to optimally use the strategy that I'm trying to reinforce in them. So if I look here, I have a giant red match. So I'm going to make that, and that's going to be cool. Yellow up here. And again, let me know if you have any questions about the game or any feedback. You can play it at playemojipop.com. So I have 15 more moves. The cool thing I think the best, there's so many cool parts, I think, having made it, I'm biased, but there's so many cool parts about my game, and one is that if I were to lose this level a couple times, the level would go away. The game doesn't force me to constantly play the level until I win, so it's a lot less punishing. So I'm going to kind of use a skill shot. I'm going to try to match between both of these. Let's say I'm going to pretend I'm a new player and I can't do that yet. But that would be like the best strategy there. So these greens are all lined up. I'll make those. It's kind of funny. Sometimes snails, they kind of like fall off a cliff almost if they end up not being attached to anything. It's funny seeing them just like die, like, without anything to do. I had to be that way because you could kind of formulate some other ways to design them so that they never like put themselves in a precarious situation. But I felt like when I was playing the obstacle like that, it was kind of sticky. It wasn't as fun as you would think. So I just ended up allowing them to like kill themselves basically. Cool, and so we won with 6 moves left over. That's normally a lot of moves to win with, but for this first level, I'm really catering to the new players to like give them a positive experience with the emoji. I want them to be able to win and not feel like if you lose really badly your first times playing, that's going to feel really negative. You're not going to feel like you have a good command over it, and you're going to feel kind of anxious playing the rest of the world. Alright, so I just spun the slot machine, and I have a streak of 3, so I have a gold slot machine, and I won 6 moves, so that's going to help me get to the next star. Cool. This is like a mini level event. I won't go into that now. Let me just again check quickly through the chat. So my plan is to play this world, and then after that we'll look at like on the Facebook groups and the indie promo chat and stuff like that. We'll look at like some posts together. I think I'm gonna start doing that every day. I feel like a lot of streamers have some kind of regular content they look at, and so I would love to like promote other people's posts and comment on them. I think that'd be fun. I also look at Gamasutra articles sometimes, but they don't have a lot of content usually. I have a Gamasutra article that's going to be going live tomorrow actually, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. So this is the second level. I'm not super happy with this level, but I liked that I used bulbs to kind of show the snails in a new light, kind of. So for the second level, whenever I make a second level in a world that introduces a new emoji, I always try to make it so that it puts some kind of twist on the mechanic. And I can do that by using another obstacle like the light bulbs in here. Or maybe some emojis have kind of like secondary mechanics. So for example, snails, they move. So I can make a level where you're trying to clear their paths so that like the snail goes to the right place. But I think that would be a little complicated. It's not as essential as like the core mechanic of matching with them when they form giant matches. So for that reason, I'm just trying to like twist the mechanic a little by including light bulbs. And I think light bulbs, using those was a good idea because they also change every turn. So it's kind of adding extra emphasis to the fact that players have to constantly reevaluate and think ahead. So, for example, I see this big green match. I know snails are going to move, bulbs are going to change. I should probably make that big match while it's still there in the middle. This yellow drop point is good. So again, just focusing on constantly reevaluating. That was a good drop point right there. And then I'm going to have to kind of play with these light bulbs a little bit if I want to save moves at the end. 8 moves, so it's not too hard. It's still pretty easy to win, I would say. 6 moves. So, yeah, it gets a little sticky up here. I think that's why I gave the level some extra moves. So, yeah, so this is the problem. I didn't want... there's this little bug where an emoji color can stick around one move more than it should. So I want players to have enough moves if that had happened, and then now it'll stay purple, I believe. I'm really fuzzy today. I don't know. I just updated my OBS, or I downgraded it because it kept crashing. I don't know why I'm so fuzzy now. I'm gonna check the chat after I get these 10 moves. I got a plus 10. That feels really good. So now in the world is kind of, I get some, this is like a star chest like in Toon Blast, and I get some rewards. So now I'm starting to go crazy with the snails up here. So the world is starting to evolve a little bit. We'll get this awesome match down here. Like, it's really important to try to save moves in these worlds, because if you run out of moves, you have to wait a while before you regenerate new ones. So it's a good like training ground for the players. Oh, cool. So there's this giant red match here. You see that? And it connects with this red star. And so if we actually red stars, if we match it, the star would get the star as well. And the red stars contain a bonus speed challenge level. Let me just check the chat, make sure there's no questions or anything. I'm also streaming on Facebook and Twitter, so I'm making sure that I'm checking all of those, or I'm trying to. Cool, we are good. Let's go back to playing. Wish it wasn't so fuzzy. Hold on. What if I was not white in the background? Would that help? Not really. Oh well. Worth a shot. At least it doesn't look like I'm in the clouds right now. Cool. So let's hope for a red emoji. We've got it. So we'll make this big match, and it should also give us that red star. Cool. So this is a level I made on the stream yesterday. So, ooh, we gotta start with a pink. I will fix that. I'm so glad I saw that right now. Reds. So yeah, so I made this on the stream the other day. I like it because it's not too challenging, and it kind of uses the snails in a unique way. But it's challenging in the sense that it's long, so you have to be consistent. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh god, oh god, oh god, I'm in trouble, I'm in trouble, I'm in trouble. Thank you for the blue. I'm trying to make as many matches as possible with each move. Yellows. So it is pretty tough. The first couple levels are pretty easy, so I think it's okay to have a tough level here. But yeah, I loved that, like I said, use the snails in a really different way because they all start compacted, and then you make matches, and then they start to move around and get messed up. I think that was cool. It doesn't go too fast, so it's easy. But if you ever make one mistake, then, or you get unlucky with the queue, then all of a sudden you're in a bad situation. So I like that it's really testing that skill, even though it's not like over the top crazy. So yeah, I love that level. Oh, but I'm gonna change really fast. One thing that I'm working on is I want to start developing the game through these streams as well, like doing database stuff and coding front end stuff. So right now I'm going into the database, and I noticed I started that level with a pink color, and I need to go into the database and change the data so that it knows that pink is not in the level. So you would see that right now, but I don't have that set up yet. So I need to go to the where the challenges are stored, and it was the third challenge, so I have that open, and I'm gonna change the queue colors. I'm gonna change the purple and pink to 0, and now that bug is fixed. Let's go. Let's keep going. Yeah, let me know if anyone out there is, like, watches game development chats or thinks that could be a good fit or has any advice, because I think it's interesting that people want to watch that. I think I could see why they want to watch that, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I could tap into that audience a little bit. Pink. So we're getting a little stuck here. Not too many good moves there, but now we're back on track. Red. So we're almost at the last level. I think this is the first world with 4 levels in it. So we started off with like 99 moves, so I'm glad like we're losing some moves. Because around this point is where I'm expecting players will not be just like blazing through the content. Like all these kinds of puzzle games, usually the first number of levels you expect for good players that are experienced in this genre to like go through it really fast, because and that's good because the new levels, the early levels, you have to make really easy for the new players. So if you can make it so that more veteran players are able to like go through it really quickly, they feel all this awesome progress, and that you also get them to the cool parts of the game faster, where we're starting to get some more complex elements to the game design, like the snail obstacle, for example, and definitely the siren example next Monday. I cleared the way and then the snails got in the way. I'm gonna do it with the purples. We drop some stuff. Alright. Cool. So we made this level in the chat in the stream yesterday as well. Oh, so we saw the green bug, so I'm gonna fix that. So this stream on Monday is also a great way to catch any bugs. Still getting into like the flow. Okay. Red, yellow, blue, green, pink, purple. So I'm deleting the colors that aren't in there. So actually I'm gonna refresh. I'm gonna refresh the level a couple times and make sure we're getting red, yellow, blue, because as you saw we got a green there, and then there's nothing you can do with green because there's no green in the level. I'm gonna check the chat while that's loading. Good. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm streaming on many platforms, and I guess the only bad thing about that is the audience is more dispersed. But I think I don't know. I'm just trying to be everywhere at once, I guess, and I don't know. Still thinking about whether that's a good idea or not. Alright. Let's open up the game. Let's see. Hopefully we get red, yellow, blue. We do. I'm going to try it one more time if you don't mind. I want to get a blue because that's the color. I didn't know there's like 6 slots with 1s and 0s, and I didn't know which one was blue and which one's green. I think it's red, yellow, blue, but it could be red, yellow, green as well. I actually always get that confused. Play. Okay, we got a blue, so cool. We fixed the bug. So the blue looks better than the yellow, so I'm going to make the blue match. The yellow match is really good. So I love this level for the giant chains. I almost thought it could be the first level. Oops. Oh, man. It's okay, I made a mistake. But I thought that the bulbs would make it a little too complex. On the first level, I wanted to focus on the snail as much as possible. Maybe this level should be the second level, actually. Like, because it's a live game, I can constantly try to just tweak it and make it perfect based on feedback, you know? Oh, cool. So this one also has an interesting end, so for that reason, it makes sense that it's not earlier. But I like that it starts off with 3 colors and it goes by really fast, and then you get to the end and then it's kind of like it changes. So now we got these dice, which were introduced earlier, so I want to include some dice in a level to like just refresh players' memories, because it's slightly complicated, and we don't like have it in all the worlds. Since I'm introducing new emojis like snails, I need to make sure I'm calling back the older emojis that are more complicated to make sure players never like totally forget how to play with things like dice. So what we do here, since we never get any greens actually, so we just have to hit some of these dice and hope they roll yellow. Oh, they didn't roll yellow, but they made a blue match, so that's cool. So these are little moments where players will swing one, like a move or so I like that. I think that's cool. Oh, we got lucky with the dice. So sometimes we'll get lucky, sometimes we won't. I think that adds to a lot of replayability. We have 5 moves. So actually I like the move count here. A really good player like myself will be able to win, but I think most players, it would take them a couple tries. Oh no, are we gonna lose? None of them turned yellow. Ugh, I don't like the way that ended. That feels a little cheap. Let's try it one more time. I guess I got really unlucky. I'm hoping I think the yellow dice. I guess I just got really unlucky with the dice. I don't know. I would see players thinking that there was a bug or the game was trying to screw me, but I think that was just really unlucky. Oh, if I can hit this blue. So this is a pretty skilled shot. Yeah, so that's what I love about Emoji Pop is, unlike match 3s, they really, like, if you're a skilled, like, game player, like, that's actually going to come to your advantage, unlike a game like Toon Blast or something, which, like, there's some skill involved, but not really. Blue's big. Oh, there's 2 big yellows, but they're just barely not connected. Maybe I'll just make the match. Oh, I wish I had a blue. Got a yellow. Can I wedge it in here? Yes, I can. So I have 9 moves. I feel like that's about what I did last time. So it's okay. Save to move there, I think. Okay, I can make this match. Hopefully match the yellow. Nope. Something turned blue. Okay. I can make the red match, and now I can make the yellow. Okay, hallelujah. Cool, well, it's a tight level. I think that's cool. So it's a little like edgy, but that's fine for the last level in the world, I think. As players will know, the last level in the world is more challenging, I think. Cool. Plus 10. We're getting really lucky on the slot machine spins. That feels really good. That's a little event mini level. Okay, so now we just have to kind of... This is the end of the world. So this is kind of where we put our skills to the test a bit. Just to like save a couple moves here and there. I'm guessing players... I guess they just... If players win the level, they have enough moves. But if players lose that level, they're going to be really focusing on saving as many moves as possible. Because if you get to... Once you get to the end, you get plus 10 moves. And so then you get to go on for a while longer. So this is probably pretty intense right here. Cool, pink. And if you notice, I'm waiting for the snails to match up with the big matches, and then I'm matching them. And that feels amazing. I feel like I've mastered that obstacle, and we can go on to the next world, which will be released on Monday. I'm just releasing a world every week with a new emoji. And the cool thing is, because we unlocked the snail in World 8, we now get to use it in our level editor. So now I've unlocked the snail emoji, and I can pick the snail out of my editor panel, and I can select different colored snails in the direction that they face, and I can create my own snail level. So that's one of the awesome things about Emoji Pop. By playing the game and unlocking emojis, not only does the game get harder, but it also gives you these rewards in the level editor, and so you can create crazier and crazier things. And then once you've made a level and saved it, you have to be logged in to do this. But then you can select a level and share it. You get a web link for your level. You can then directly message your friends and challenge them to beat your level, or send it to me for me to play on the stream, for example. Which you can find my Twitter and Instagram. You can message me at Eldon Woodbury, or anywhere else you find me online. You can also share it directly to Twitter or Facebook. And then if you do it to Twitter, just use the hashtag EmojiPop so I can find it. And then the whole world... This is why this Emoji Pop game is revolutionary from a creative gaming aspect. Usually, if you want to share a level in a game, for example, in Mario Maker, for someone to be able to play your level, they have to own a Nintendo Switch game console, which is hundreds of dollars. They have to have the software, the Mario Maker game, which is another $60. They have to have the annual Nintendo Online Pass, which is another whatever much that costs. And they have to get lucky to find your level in the in-game browser features. Or you can share it online, but you have to share this long code that you have to kind of type in again, and only those players can play it, not everyone in the world. With Emoji Pop, though, you share this link online, every single person that's connected to the internet can play it from their computer or their phone without having to download anything, without having to create an account. So your audience literally is the entire world. And I think that's kind of the way these games should be made, not walled off in certain platforms or whatever. I always thought you see file formats online like GIFs or pictures or videos or infographics. You see all these kinds of file formats that are native to the web, and I always thought, why isn't there a game file format native to the web where you can just share games across the internet? But then as I got older, I realized, it is literally these web tools that you can use. And so I think we need to make more games that are on the service of the internet. And so that's what I'm trying to do with Emoji Pop, is make it something where its creators, the people who make games within it, they can share it on their social media for the whole world to play, and do it instantly, and form a community on social media and gain followings themselves. So that's kind of the whole creative gaming emphasis to Emoji Pop. Alright, I think I'm going to get a glass of water real fast, but we can either design snail levels, or we can maybe we'll look at the Indie Gaming Promo Facebook page real fast just to see what's there. Just gonna check the chats real fast to make sure we're good. Get a drink of water really fast. Alright. We're back. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna switch over. Okay, I looked on Gamasutra. There's only one article which had a title that seemed maybe interesting. Let's look at it. Gonna center it first. Okay, let's see if it's interesting. Let's see how far we can get down this. Shaping emotions, utilizing shape, language, and symbols in level design. How is it that a work of art, a song, a book, or a game can leave an emotional mark that is so uniquely personal and yet shared by many others? Effective works of art are able to tap into an inherent understanding in the observer or participant and speak directly to their natural shared experience of being. As a member of the game development community, we strive to create experiences that are relatable, effective, and personally engaging. Video games are unique in that they incorporate visual and audio art as well as providing authorship directly to the player. By handing off a portion of the experience's creation to the player, it is all the more important they instinctively understand the space that they inhabit. So I guess the only part of that it's connected to Emojipop is that I am giving creative control to my players. But this isn't really talking about my kind of game, really. Speaking in shapes. I like this. I know the ideas in this article, like the idea of shapes and the use of shapes in a way to create a shared. I think a shared. It's kind of talking about the shared language of visuals or whatever. Like, I think it is. I think that's interesting. It's kind of just talking about more like aesthetics of art. I like when game designers like try to talk about art and view games through more the lens of art as a whole, and not just through video games and the history of like commercial arcade games or whatever. Anyways, so just visual language, how it shapes the way you feel. I don't know. This doesn't seem too useful to what I'm doing. Seems kind of general. But I could see maybe other designers with other perspectives kind of delving into this space more. I think that's interesting. Maybe some like practical tips that you can use in designing stuff. It's a pretty long article. Alright, so I think that's all I saw on Gamasutra. Let's switch over to the video game indie promo group. Let me make sure it's centered. Check the chat real fast. What's up? Mattman PS2, I remember you from before. Sup, looks like you're dropping hella frames. Am I dropping hella frames? Thank you for letting me know. Now that I look at it, actually, it looks a little weird. I switched. Thanks for letting me know. I might cut the stream short then if that's happening. I switched to the 32-bit version of OBS of the stream software. Because the other one kept crashing in the middle of streams, and it's so annoying when that happens. But now it seems like it's, like you said, it's kind of rough. I don't know why that's happening. I will definitely look into that. I'm just going to finish out the stream as well as I can. I'm on this indie... And again, if you're just getting to the stream, go to playmojipop.com to play my game. It's a really fun puzzle game, and you can save levels and share them with the world, and I can play them live on the stream and feature them in the game. Go to playmojipop.com to check it out, though. So I was just going to... Thanks for that feedback again, though. I'm just going to go to the Facebook Indie promo page, and I was just going to see like what's interesting on there, because I kind of want some daily content that I can just comment on, you know, like these Twitch streamers are always commenting on YouTube drama or whatever. At least like I can do something that promotes indie gaming or whatever. I can like tell you kind of my perspective, like what I like and what I don't like. They started a new devlog. That's not a game that looks like I would be interested in, but I'm like kind of a weird gamer. So my post from before is still here. 82 comments. Is this it? I don't think I saw this comment. I would say your bubble pop game looks quite fun. I like the power-up ideas. I'm not sure it is going to be quite as revolutionary as you claim, but good luck to you. When you are making all that money, please free to come back and gloat. LOL, this guy has a good sense of humor. Was able to still communicate his point. This is not my game. I'm gonna say, thanks for the compliment. That's not my game. I mean, I would link him a video, but he's commenting on a video. I guess I didn't include the link, so I'm just gonna say you can play it at HTTPS. Type this web link so many times. Play emoji pop. I feel like I wasn't notified of that comment. It's kind of weird. And then this is the video I released announcing the new world with the snails that I just showed. Again, checking the chat real fast. You could go over Reddit's game dev. Similar game to yours, the same name. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are basically called Emoji Pop. But my Emoji Pop, I knew this version of the game Emoji Pop I would never release on the app stores, so I'm not really worried about other Emoji Pops. The version of this game that I will release on the app store will be a completely different name and will have like a different twist to it that's more catered to casual players. But yeah, it's a little annoying when people are trying to find my game. Like, there's like a bunch of games that look the same. But emojis are the perfect thing to make a bubble shooter for. You know, it's not my fault because I needed colors. I needed circles that were different colors that also had a strong personality. And so there's nowhere else to go but like emojis, you know, colored faces. But yeah, that's the way it goes. I should go to the game dev subreddit. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that instead. Maybe I'll do this. I can do this Facebook pages a different time. Maybe you're right that it's better over there. I'm just kind of getting more into Reddit and game dev stuff. For some reason I haven't done it as much because a lot of the channels they like ban self promotion, so I can't really. The stuff I'm making I can't really produce too often, but maybe I should be making different videos or something. Yeah, there's a lot more activity here. I think this would be fun to check every day. Guide. So there's some guide. How much money my game made in a month earned. It'd be cool to watch these videos. Let me try watching one to see if it works. Is this a joke? I think it's a joke. Game Jam. Yeah, I would like to start streaming my game development process. I'm curious if anyone's into that, like coding and doing database stuff, and I think that'd be kind of fun. I might as well do it while streaming so I can do two things at once, you know? This sounds interesting. This may not be valid, but as I get the distinct impression that many indie devs are guys in their 20s. That's me. For those of you who are past 30, past 40, past 50, etc., what's your experience as an indie game developer? I'm not just talking about you juggling daily life with game development. I'm thinking more in terms of what's your head at with these things. What do you want to accomplish? And how is your mindset different from when you were younger? This guy said, I'm in my 30s late 30s at a tech company using Unity. Pays really well. A lot of my colleagues are from the game industry. I did indie dev earlier, couldn't sustain myself. Some of the games on the side. So it seems like it's more of like a hobby for this person now. 40-ish. Technology is changing more instead of improving. Interesting. 43 from developing country. Tried in the 90s, no way to publish it. Alright. I'm over this, but I think that's an interesting question to pose. This person wants to build an RPG. That question gets asked a lot, I'm guessing. Issues with Facebook marking your page and website as spam. Free graveyard bundle. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of people post like this free art and stuff. These usually get a lot of traction. Checking the chat. Good. Yeah, so I'm streaming live on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, through Periscope, YouTube. I'm going to be doing this every day around like 11 to 1 o'clock or so. I think that's like a good time for me because I have stuff to do in the morning to get ready, and then I have time in the evening and afternoon. I remade Club Penguin sled racing in 1 week. That's a pretty cool project for someone getting into games. I remember that game. I remember playing Club Penguin a little bit as a kid. More just to troll other kids on the internet. You could say the word P in that game. I think I would just go around saying the word P or something. Fall Guys. I haven't played Fall Guys, but I've seen people play it. I love... There's like a game talk that Jason Rohrer gave at GDC in 2019 about how game designers need to embrace like making games that are really fun for Twitch. Like making games that are like more short experiences that are really replayable as opposed to like long A to B narrative epics or whatever. And so I think that game is evidence of like someone trying to do that and like nailing it because of their understanding of like the psychology of all that. Sort by top month for best stuff, I would say. Good advice. Thank you so much for that. What's your name? Mattman PS2. I remember you from the other day. Sort by top month. So there's a new and then there's a top this month. Okay, this is weird. How to create pixel art rotoscope. Oh. I've always thought of that, like the idea of like just like putting people directly into games like that. Like you could do that with just 2D art and stuff. I would like to see that done with like, because like it's a kind of, it could be probably a way of getting around like copyright stuff. Like if you just kind of draw over things in movies or like in TV that you want to use in your game, it'd be like a cool way of like combining stuff from other media into some kind of game, you know? Like if whether you're commenting on some part of our reality or just making like a funny thing based on a current event or whatever. That's a good idea though, to get like accurate animations. That's a cool idea. I had a new way to handle VR physics. I like the video. That's a good idea. An easy way to make your game's audio AAA quality. Tutorial. Discovering additive animations in Unity. Yeah, it's funny, like, I'm starting to get into like a Unity-like product right now, but I've always avoided using Unity and tools like that because whenever I usually make 2D games, and so whenever I use Unity, it feels like it's made for 3D games, and it's also all this UI stuff. I love just pure programming to make games, but I've been told that's not the most efficient, so I'm kind of switching over now. But yeah, I have like very little exposure to Unity for that reason. Literally, whenever there's something in school or a project that someone's like, use Unity, and I'm always like, let's use JavaScript instead, and then somehow I always end up getting my way. So for like a decade, I've been able to like not use Unity, even though like that's insane to most game developers, I'm guessing, which I can understand. Worms like destructible terrain for Unity. Reminds me of like Where's the Water, that mobile game. Cool use of math and procedural terrain. Create an equation to create a random looking wave. How to make a good tutorial. I love Unity. I mostly make 3D games though. Totally makes sense. Yeah, it seems like it's really powerful. Have you ever used something like Dreams? Have you ever like made anything in Dreams? It's something like, it's a creative game like my game Emoji Pop, but I'm curious what Unity developers think of like the complexity of tools and Dreams and stuff like that. I'm curious what games you're making too. Let me know if you're working on a game or anything right now. Let me just check the other chats real fast too. Cool, we are good. Let me know if you have any questions about the game or anything. Streaming on Twitch, Twitter, blah blah blah. Oops. Yeah, I should check out this Reddit once in a while, like, for the stream. I'm a solo dev. My new game just made $3,000 in the first 24 hours on Steam. Ask me anything. That's good. Way to go. Made this hyperspace warp light effect. That's rad. I'm so happy and proud to announce the release of this highly requested tutorial. 3D plants. Yeah, sometimes I have a hard time sharing my game to these channels because it's so focused in Unity and 3D games, which makes sense. Like, those are the more popular games, and like, it's crazy how powerful indie developers can make their games or whatever. But yeah, like, my game, I feel like always ends up in the background of these Facebook and Reddit channels because, like, it seems like a hacky corporate, like, low budget thing, and I don't know. Even though, like, the game is really more about the creation of levels and more the ideas, I think, are cool, less than just like the superficial look of the game, you know. But that's something I'm still working on, figuring out, and finding different channels to share my game. Game Maker Studio to Unity. Nice. I remember Game Maker Studio. Those were the days. Game Maker Studio. You just quickly make these little 2D games in this annoying little language. I also made RPG Maker games. I think that was my first exposure to 2D game development. Older versions of my game, but that's the last project. You have to be a part of the Reddit communities to submit them and self-promote. Okay, that makes sense. Let me open that. I'm going to open that link if you don't mind. Yeah, I also would love to stream, like, I want to get more indie developers, maybe some who are interested in mobile games, and I'd really like to, like, create more, like, inroads with each other, you know?
Everyone's surprisingly great rates.
You're the man.
Create more, like, inroads
You
with
want
each
the real
other,
deal?
you know?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Everyone's surprisingly great rates.
You're the man.
Create more, like, inroads
You want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I just realized my microphone was off this whole time. So I was saying this game is really cool. Like, I was trying to imagine, like, what the mechanic would be and how it would evolve and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, it's kind of based on, like, oh, you have to see, like, what the order of the color is, and it seems like with all saying it's a really, it seems like a simple mechanic. It seems like something like my parents can play, you know. And I like that it starts really simple and easy, and then to play it, and then I'm sure it gets more complex, and like I can see like, oh, like you can do the ordering of things, and I can imagine like other elements you add into it. I think it's a really cool game. I'm sure you're giving valuable feedback. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I like the mechanical space. That's like the big thing for me, you know. I want to check it. I want to play it. Cool. Let's skip ahead a little. I'm curious. Oh, cool. So you have different size paintbrushes. That makes sense. Cool. Yeah, what else saying? Like, it must be interesting developing like the algorithm that decides. Like, oh, I guess it's pretty simple, but like detecting how similar theirs are, and I'm curious what the process was for like, oh, like this is 1 star, this is 2 stars, this is 3 stars. You can see like, oh, cool. Looks like a little Captain American shield. It must be interesting developing like the algorithm that decides. Yeah, another thing I really love about this. You gotta mute me. So yes, you know I'm totally new to streaming because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna pause the vid there. I'm gonna play it so I can see it again. Yeah, so another thing, so I don't know how much you heard and what you didn't hear, so I might just start at the beginning. Uh, I love that. So one thing that just occurred to me is I was talking about how much I love the gameplay and stuff. Like it's simple, and I could see it getting more complex, and the strategy and like picking out the order and of like how you draw and which paintbrush to use to make the perfect like replica. Something I really love is that it's a puzzle game that isn't like a really like it's not like a puzzle game where it's like puts you in a box and you have to get your way out. That's what Emoji Pop is. It's like, you know, Emoji Pop is there's certain moves you can make and you're just kind of executing. But with this, it's like solving the puzzle is like creating and like like making colored patterns and stuff, and like that's the mechanic. So I think it's cool that it's like a creative puzzle game. Really, like I think that is really cool. Um, so I think that's rad. If that makes any sense. I only heard 2 words, so I'm hoping you heard the words I'm saying now. I think I'm coming through now on the microphone. But yeah, I was curious, like too. I'm curious to see how it keeps getting harder. Like I could see like this perfect as a perfect setup for like daily challenges or like I don't know, like weekly challenges or whatever. I'm curious how the mechanics evolve. Like it seems like something you could like keep adding complexities onto, which would be cool. Yes, you kind of begin to identify the little stripes and the big stripes. Oh, cool. So this one you have to do like a so this one involves a little bit of skill now where you're like you have to mechanically like make this spiral pattern. So I could see by playing the game you learn this whole rule set of how like this spiral logic works in ways that you couldn't have like imagined before. I think this is really cool. And I would love. I feel like players would be really like. I could see players being really incentivized to play levels over and over again, so that they can like nail it. The design. Yeah, this is really rad. Appreciate the feedback. Heard those last words since pausing the video. Never gets too hard as it is hyper casual game. Makes sense, but there's more to it. Download it on iPhone if you want to see. Yeah, thanks for sharing this game with me. This is really rad. I love finding unique gameplay mobile systems, especially. So this is right up my alley. I'm definitely gonna play this, and I'll give you more feedback if you don't mind later. Yeah, this is awesome. More colors. Oh wow, that one had a little like dash on the side. Or I could see maybe that was a mistake, but I could see requiring that. Spiral plate. Whoa. Hold on, how did that work? Interesting. I wonder if like it'd be cool if there was like some bonus. Okay, so I see you kind of slap that on top or whatever. Interesting. I could see that getting a little more complex or whatever. That's cool. There's something I was gonna say. Forget what I was gonna say. Okay, so there's like stuff that you unlock. Cool. This is rad. I'm wondering if this are you still like developing it? Is this something you're constantly updating, or are you doing other stuff? This is there's like currency. This is rad. Spiral plate. Nice. Cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing me that. That is rad. Cool. So I'm dropping lots of frames, so I think I'm gonna end the stream so I can spend some time figuring out what the heck is going on and I can nail down all this stuff. Thanks so much for watching my stream. I had some viewers, more views than I usually have, and thanks for commenting. Mattman PS2, that was awesome to play your game. I want to play your game right now too. So thanks so much for watching, everybody, and you can catch me. You can play. Actually, before I go, you can play Emoji Pop at playemojipop.com, and it's a fun puzzle game where you can actually make levels as well and share them. And I would love to play them on the stream and feature them as well in the game. Um, so yeah, feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and give me any feedback. If you go to playmojipop.com, if you hit this settings/Twitter button, you can actually see all of my social media right here. So that's another way to follow me. So yeah, I'm playing the game. The new world is up, the Snail World, World 8, and I'm gonna be streaming again tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. So in California time. So I'll see you tomorrow, and thanks for the chat.